All right, we live, sir.
Let me see. Um, all right. And you said I could be heard clearly.
Come with concert.
All right. Give it 1 second.
No problem.
All right. I'm gonna say shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakatham.
No,
Yahweh
sure.
Shema Alathan. Bashem Yahshua. Go ahead. It's like.
No, hey, Shalom is real. Sure, with the.
hmm As you see in the uh, heading, the title for tonight's topic is the remnant. We're going to be discussing exactly what that means. In the scriptures, you'll come across that phrase a few times, more than not. The
Right.
remnant. Who is the remnant? What is the remnant? I just want to shed a little light on that. Um, Next week, Lord allow, um, we'll be continuing uh, Revelation 15 to 16. This is this video is to give a little more understanding on the remnant, the 144,000, because we just went over Revelation 14. So it'll be covering that, the 1/3, the elect, the remnant.
Right.
Um, at this time, we'll open the floor for any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in, and Precinct Officer Malakma will read off your questions. If you have any questions, now is the time to type them in. We'll give you about 2 minutes. Just let me know, Malakma.
Come with concert. Um, Whenever you're ready, I don't want
Go ahead.
the brother Abadjala. He said, "Salaki, sir, if I may, could I get a breakdown of Romans chapter 4, verse 4 through 8?"
All right, let's read it.
Okay.
And you can pull it. You can pull it up on the screen for him, right?
Come with concert. All right. The book of Romans, chapter 4, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But to him that worketh not, but believeth in him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
Even as David also describeth the blessedness of the man unto whom God imputeth righteousness without works, saying, Blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin.
Right. So, brother has a question on Romans 4 and 4 through 8. I want to
Oh,
focus on to understand um, 4 and 5 is giving it to you in 7 and 8.
right.
Is giving it to you, Ibajala. This is Ibajala, right?
Come.
Is giving it to you in 7 and 8. Really, 8. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin. Saying, Blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven and whose sins are covered. You see? So is there anything specific in these 4 verses that he's not understanding? Let me know about y'all. Anything specific, right? What you want to, but before the brother uh types his comment, this is a verse that people will use to say that you don't have to keep the law,
Good night.
right? It's not about the works. It's not about what work you do. That's not true at all, right? Hold that. Give me Romans 3:31. That's
You
not what this
said
is talking about. Romans 3:31.
cow concert. You
So
said
let's
Romans
show
3:31.
right. So to get understanding on this Abadjala, most of the times Christians will use this, and the reason why they'll bring this up is to say that it's not about keeping the law. That's their whole point of attack. We don't have to keep the law. We're not justified by the law. But this is what Paul said. So let's establish that they're wrong first and then explain what Romans 4 is talking about. Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
Did you read it again?
Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
Right. So clearly, Paul is not teaching that you're not supposed to keep the law. Correct?
Right,
Paul is saying, uh, do we make void the law through faith? God forbid. Meaning no. You see that? So what Paul is talking about in Romans 4, he's talking about how important faith is. You see that? But then also he's saying we don't make void the law through faith because here's what you got to understand during the time of the book of Acts and Paul, formerly known as Saul,
right,
what you got to understand is they were teaching brothers who were clean shaven, uncircumcised, etc.
right,
Like today. And first the faith had to be taught to them of who they are, who Christ is, and then through the faith they will start keeping the law. But initially it's them learning the faith at first, because as you're learning about the truth, you're not in the truth as 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 you're learning about it at first. You understand? You're not learning about it. I mean, you're
right,
not you're not in the truth because you're learning about the truth. So these brothers who were during the time of the Romans and Galatians and etc. And now, uh, they first it was about faith, but then they eventually started keeping the law. That's why Paul said this in Romans 3:31. Do we make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law, which means what? We keep the law.
right,
So that brother that was once clean shaven, now he grows his beard. You understand? Or that brother that used to celebrate pagan holidays. Now he doesn't. Now he keeps what the law established. Passover, Day of Atonement, Feast of Blowing of the Trumpets, etc. You got to think of it back then during the time. Give me James. Faith without works is dead.
cow concert.
I about y'all. Let me know if you need me to break it down a little more. But the faith without works, it lets you know that it's not just faith, that you do have to implement works. But at first, initially, it is faith. It's faith. It's going to take faith to do the work. You understand? You go ahead, read that.
Khan, the book of James, chapter 2, verse 17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone.
Hmm. Keep going.
Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works.
Hmm.
Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
Right now, in Romans 4 and 6, it says, or 5, but to him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. You see, so at first it's going to take faith at first,
Right,
but then that faith translates into work.
right,
You understand? It takes faith to believe. When you walk by those brothers at camp and you hearing what they saying and you reading the signs and what does this mean? What does that mean? Can I get a flyer, etc.? It takes faith. You go home, start researching and get in contact with brothers. It takes faith. Then now you got to start working.
right,
You got to start working. But back then, what the brothers was dealing with during the time of the Book of Acts was brothers condemning brothers who just learned that they were an Israelite, because remember we were removed from that. Oh, he's not circumcised. Oh, he's he's never kept Passover all his day, or he has a smushed in nose. You see, but first those brothers were taught faith, and then eventually that's Paul was showing that you can't condemn these brothers because they didn't know. They didn't know. It wasn't about their works. Now the Most High had mercy on them to be able to come back and keep, because there's certain things in the law back then. Israelites looked at it like, okay, you're not circumcised, you can't come to Passover, or you have a smushed in nose, you can't dwell among us. When Paul and the disciples were teaching that they can through Christ, and that's through faith. But then Paul also was saying, now that you learn it, we don't make void the law through faith. We establish the law. So that's what that's talking about. I would anybody looking for to understand what I'm saying a little deeper, read the book of Acts and see what those brothers was dealing with, the persecution they got from brothers in Jerusalem, because the book of Acts is solely about um teaching Israelites who didn't know that they were Israelites, and they were coming from all walks of life,
right,
and the walks of life were contrary to the law, and back then they were being held to a standard that it was impossible. It was impossible to hold them to that standard because they were uncircumcised, or like mentioned, what if they had vitiligo or leprosy, right? What if they were short? What if they committed adultery in the past and they were just looked down on? And Paul was basically saying that these brothers can serve the Lord. That's what Paul was saying.
So, like, sir, if I could,
Hmm.
what if they were considered a Gentile?
Yeah, exactly. They're considered as Gentiles. You see,
Right.
that's all. Abijah, you clear on that? Right, work is not. I think that was his comment. Yeah, if it wasn't about, say your brother, we all were those brothers who didn't know anything. It wasn't anything you did to be shown the truth. You get what I'm saying? There was no work you did to be shown who you are. That is, Lord have mercy on you.
Right.
That's all. There was no works you did that you qualified to. The Lord just have mercy on you. You have mercy on whom you have mercy. That's why in Romans 4 and 7 and 8, what he say? Hold on, let me pull it up again.
I have it right here, other one.
Okay, go ahead.
Romans chapter 4, verse 7, saying, blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven and whose sins are covered.
Hmm.
Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin.
So think of it like this, Abijala. You've been a sinner your whole life, and you learn that you can be forgiven for all your sins. There's nothing you there's nothing you did for that opportunity. What did you do for the opportunity to learn that. We all learn it. Not everybody holds on to that, Malakma. There are people
Right.
that learn the same thing you learn. We
Right.
all learn the same thing from Commander Juliana to the newest trooper.
Right.
We all learn the same thing. Some men don't hold on to it, but then there are us who do. You understand?
Right.
But being taught that in the first place, what law did you keep to get that knowledge, to get the truth? You didn't keep no laws. There were no works.
Right.
That was just the Lord having mercy. That's Him not imputing sin on the man and having mercy on that man. That's all. But go ahead. He had another question.
I think that was it for right now, sir.
Let me know about y'all if that's clear to you. If you need me to call you afterwards, that's fine as well. You have my phone number.
So, like, yeah, the one if I could, sir, I had a question.
Go ahead.
It was about let me go back to Deuteronomy.
This another topic.
Khan.
Okay, go ahead. No sweat.
It's in Deuteronomy 23.
Go ahead.
I know you know like that chapter says thou shalt not whore Edomite.
Hmm.
It was a few verses up.
Got it.
Khan. It's right here.
Go ahead.
It's Deuteronomy 23 and 8.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna share right here.
I'm not seeing this live.
La.
Mm-mm.
So like y'all check right now. I don't want. Yeah, now we live on Hollywood Israelites, sir.
I don't know why it's not showing.
Sometimes the app be tripping.
Yeah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother.
Hmm.
Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his hand. Verse 8. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. So right here in verse 8, who's the them?
Hold on 1 second. You said Deuteronomy.
23 and 8.
My phrase, our brother, because I was a stranger in his land. The children. Um, I'm not too sure. I'm about 97% sure of uh that at one point. Um, no, this can't be talking about Esau, but I'll get back to you on that one.
Come on, sir.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Nah, the water, sir. No sweat.
Yeah, that's a
If
good
I
question. Go ahead.
if I could, I know verse 3 says, an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Hmm.
Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
Hmm.
So, yeah, would it be that if they were to come into the congregation that's coming in to serve us?
Well, the thing is,
Come
think of
on.
it during the time this was written. This is before they did all the cruel things that they did to us. At once, let's say, for argument's sake, during this time, it was saying unto the third generation, unto the 10th generation. You know, I mean, you read prophecies after this,
Right.
they don't have no, they can't go in at all. You understand? But like I said,
Come on, concert. The one.
I'll get clarity on that, and then I'll get back to you.
Come on, come.
Just remind me.
Come on, come.
Any other questions?
None yet.
Okay, no sweat. All right, so let's get into the remnant. Give me Isaiah 10 and 21.
Come on, concert.
So uh we'll read this and then I'll explain.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty God.
Right. So the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob. You see that?
Right,
Unto the mighty power. So what we have to understand is that not everybody is called to return to the most high. First of all, to return would mean what? Malakma. If you were coming back or returning, it would mean what in the first place?
you left.
That's true. But what else?
You were kicked out.
That you were there in the first place.
Oh,
You get what
Salakia.
I'm saying? Kicked out from where? You understand? So
Right,
to return, right? Like Moab, Edom,
right.
uh Ham can't return. Why can't they return?
Because they were never there.
They were never there. They were never in God's favor ever.
Right.
Ever. You see? Um read verse 20.
Come on. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall
Mm-hmm.
no more again stay upon him that smote him.
Mm-hmm. Who smote us?
The Edomites, sir?
Yeah, our oppressor. Who smotes us? Our oppressor.
Right,
But see, how do we stay on him? Because we lean on him. We go
right,
to him for everything. We go to him for groceries. We go to him for, as a people, we stay on him. And a lot of us, the majority of us as a people, stay on him, meaning that we trust in him.
right.
Right? Go ahead.
That shall stay upon the Lord.
Now, that remnant, brothers and sisters who come into the truth, will stay on the Most High.
Right.
Keep going.
The Holy One of Israel in truth.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. Now read 21.
Come on. That remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty God.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. Verse 22.
For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea,
Right? Though Israel be so vast, there's so many of us.
right,
So many of us in the world. Right? Go ahead.
yet a remnant of them shall return.
Only a remnant is going to return. Only a select few will return. Keep going.
The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness.
Keep going. Meaning what the Most High ordained is going to happen. Right? Keep going.
Verse 23. For the Lord God of hosts shall make a consumption,
That's it on that.
even
So
come
you see
come
the mention of the remnant. Um, from there, I want you to get Isaiah 46 and 3.
come.
Right? The reason why I'm showing you what I'm showing you is not to confuse you. I want you to understand that learning the truth, learning who you are, is very precious. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very this is an opportunity, right? This is a grand opportunity, and to make the most of it, because you
Right.
didn't have to learn. You didn't have to not only learn it, you didn't have to accept it.
Right.
You didn't have to accept it, but you were gifted the gift of accepting it. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Come on, can I hear you, sir?
Go ahead.
Hearken unto the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 3. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
which are born by me from the belly,
Mm-hmm.
which are carried from the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Keep reading, sir.
Uh, you
Next
heard that
verse.
though, right?
Come on,
Hearken
come.
unto me, uh, house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel.
Right.
So there's a remnant. Look up the word remnant. Let's get the definition of remnant for the people.
Come on, sir.
Let's get remnant. Remnant. Let's get remnant.
The word remnant out of the Merriam Webster Dictionary. A usually small part, member, or trace remaining.
Mm. So
A,
though Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a
right.
remnant. Within that remnant is the 144,000 and the one third. That's the remnant.
Good night.
You know the 144. Think of all the people on the planet.
Right, sir.
Then think about how many of all those people are of Jacob.
Right.
Then dwindle down to just 144,000,
This is good night.
right? And then from there, one third of the majority of our people are prophesied to return. Now, the one third are the families and the loved ones of the 144,000. You could be a sinner and be a part of the one third.
Most High in Christ.
See, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your little brother, 3-year-old brother who has no
Right.
idea what's going on, but he loves you so much. You understand? And he could be beamed up. It's not him that worketh. It's not him that worketh, Malakma.
Right.
That's the
That's
point.
that's heavy, sir.
I don't know if Abijah's still in here. That's the point, brother. You see,
Right.
but 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 blesses him who God imputeth no sin. See,
Salak Yadawan.
mm-hmm.
Is that also why the it's in the it says in the Bible that it be my heart's repentant what is it, my heart's desire
Get it.
for all of Israel to be saved?
Romans 10:1. Let's read it.
Come on.
Now, though Zechariah, we'll read Zechariah. We'll just read it and then we'll break it down because that's an excellent point. Um, you have Israelite groups out there that teach against or that teach 2/3 gonna die, 2/3 gonna die,
Right.
and yeah, 2/3 are gonna die, but that's because it's prophesied. Now, what where they go wrong is they damn near are happy about it.
Right.
And then they'll tell you you're a 2/3.
Right.
You're a 2/3. So if I'm a 2/3, that means you're a 1/3. So you know you're a 1/3. So when Paul said, "I dare not make myself as a number," you're you're better than Paul.
Salak, yes, sir, if I could.
Hmm.
It's crazy you say that. I don't want because these fake Israelites believe Paul was wrong. I mean,
Hey,
that's man. So just enough said.
if Paul is wrong, that means Christ is wrong because Paul taught
Right.
what Christ told him to taught or told him to teach.
Right.
Didn't Christ appear to Paul?
Right.
Paul was a man of the Lord. Christ said, "He that heareth you heareth me. He that heareth me heareth him who sent me." So Paul was given, was laying, whatever Paul laid down in that Bible was
Right.
of the Lord. So if you disagree with Paul, you're
That's
not in the truth.
crazy, man. Right.
And that's Luke 10:16. But let's read Romans 10:1, priest.
Common concert. The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Right. Read it again.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Right. First of all, what are we getting from this? What's one thing we get from this? That it's about Israel. It
Right.
always has been and always will be. He said, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. Give me 11 and 26.
Come,
Romans.
come. Romans 11:26, sir.
Hmm.
Come, come. The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written.
Right.
There shall.
For and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. Now, give me Zechariah 13 and 8. Now, in the prophecy, 2/3 will be cut off and die, 1/3 will be delivered. Alongside the 144,000, we learn about them in later books such as Revelation, namely. Um, but what does that mean? That doesn't mean, okay, here in the school, we want all Israel to be delivered.
Right.
We don't go and teach one brother and not the next. You understand? We don't have
Right.
the attitude that um we don't want the 2/3 to die.
Right.
If that was the case, we'll uh that brother doesn't do drugs. Maybe he has a better chance than the brother that does do drugs. You understand? What? That's
Damn.
crazy, right? So who are we to say who the 2/3 are? That'll be decided when the bombs go off.
Right.
So let's read Zechariah 13 and 8,
Come, come.
where that whole terminology of 1/3, 2/3 comes from.
Come, concert.
Go ahead, Ad.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die,
Right, two parts of who? Israel. A fraction of Israelites will be cut off and die. Go ahead.
but the third shall be left therein.
Right, the third, meaning what of Israel? A what of Israel?
A one third of Israel, sir.
Or
A remnant.
there it is. You see, there it is. A remnant of Israel. So,
Right.
but now it says 2/3 shall be cut off and die. But Paul said in Romans 11:26, all Israel shall be saved.
Right.
All Israel is going to be saved. The 2/3 are going to come back through the 144,000 and the 1/3 in the kingdom.
Right.
That's going to be them being saved. They're not going to be under Roman persecution anymore. They're not going to be under an oppressor anymore. They're going to the children of the 1/3, or they're going to bring back the populace of Israel, and they're not going to be in a position and height of authority that the 144,000 are going to be. The 144,000 are going to rule, but then
Right.
you're going to have lower class civilians. They're going to be still well off, Malakma. They're not going to be,
Right.
struggling to make ends meet, but they're not going to be Peter. They're not going to be a brother who dedicated his life and sacrificed everything he knew to go to camp on Saturday, opposed to someone who refused the truth. They're not going to be in the same position in the kingdom.
Right, sir. So like
Go
y'all
ahead.
don't
Go
want
ahead. Get down.
by could, sir. It's like by where the school is. What's that area called? Highland. You got Highland. You got Rancho Cucamonga. You got Fontana, Rialto. All those areas. Like, I mean, I'm not from the IE Salakia, but I know there's areas right there where it's the hood, and then it's areas where it's like it's a upper middle class. So I always
Mm,
think of it like, the 2/3 as said, right, like living in the in today's world in Esau's kingdom. That's Edomites that live in those higher upper class neighborhoods. They're not the governing body, but they're living a lot better than us.
right,
So I see it like, okay, that's in our kingdom, right? That you're gonna have our people living a lot better than the oppressors when they're in their, and they're in second class citizenship.
right. Yeah, excellent, 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 excellent. But you see, fake Israelites will use, see, 2/3 gonna die. There's no hope for you niggas.
Yeah,
Right? We don't teach that here.
comic con.
We want we do what Paul did. My heart's desire to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
Right,
Right? Just like the Most High can change his mind. That's the beauty
right,
of him being a living power.
right,
He can change his mind. But as far as right now is concerned, yes, 2/3. Maybe Israel hearing that there's a 2/3 would make them, damn, I don't want to be a part of that 2/3.
right, sir.
You get what I'm saying?
So
Like, go ahead, go ahead.
now I say Salaki, I don't want would have been like the time of Nineveh, right? With Job, or was it no with Jonah,
Yeah, yeah,
and how
Jonah.
he went to warn them, right? And when they heard him, they listened and heard him what he said because they saw the destruction coming.
Yeah, it's like say I have 3 children and I have 3 bags of chips. Kids want chips, but I tell the 3 that there's only 2 bags of chips, and whoever slacks on their chores this today is not getting no chips. They all gonna work for them chips, right? I have
Right,
3 bags of chips. They don't know that, but
right,
it's motivating them to get the chips. You see what I'm saying?
right,
That's my attitude. My attitude is get everybody, get all your. But I don't look at one brother like, oh no, he can't make it. Oh, he got tattoos all over him. Oh no, he doesn't look like a brother that could be in the school. We don't do that. I don't go to one man and be like, yeah, he looks like he'll be a great brother in the truth. He'll be a great brother. But him, no, we don't do that. We don't
right,
do that. And that's what Paul and them brothers was dealing with back then. They was dealing with, oh man, he's clean shaven. How's he a truth? How can he be a practice? Someone who, listen, brother, it's not to him that it's to him that worketh not. That's what that's talking about. Romans 4. Make sense?
con,
Go ahead. Zechariah 13:8. Read verse 9 after you read 8.
sir. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the
Mm-hmm.
third shall be left therein.
Keep going.
And I will bring the third part through the fire,
And I will
and,
bring the third. What's the third? The 1/3 or the remnant of
right,
Israel. Keep going.
and will refine them as silver is refined.
Listen, you have people who may not keep the laws of God, but they pay their tithes or they donate or they help brothers. They may have housed a brother. They might not be in the truth, but they've helped a priest. You understand? That
Right,
person very well may be likely to, they're up in their chances of getting delivered.
right,
Friends of the prophets, people that help the prophets, right? Um, let me see. In times past, God has had mercy on people for helping um his chosen.
right,
She was an Israelite, but Rahab, God had mercy on her, right? Through the agreement. that the Israelite spies made when they went into Jericho, right? But God had mercy on her and her family, right? But how much more his own people who,
Right.
you know, we've had people um act a fool at camp, Malakman, but
Right.
then some random brother, man, leave these brothers alone. Leave these brothers alone. You get out these brothers' face. Man,
Right.
man, come on. That's recorded. That brother don't know, you know, the magnitude of what he just did. You know, but I could go on all day about that. But those people, the friends of the friends and family, the loved ones near to that brother that's a part of the 144,000, they're going to be brought through the fire.
Right.
They're going to be brought through the fire. They're going to be delivered. They may not know what's going on while it's going on, or maybe they will. Some will, some may not. And they're going to go into the wilderness with us for a time. And when we're in the wilderness, those those brothers, they're going to train. They're going to train, 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 and then we're going to take over the world.
Right.
That's in the Bible. Go ahead, keep reading.
Come on. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I
Right.
will say,
This is now they learned who they are, and that's see, I, help me out, Malakma, because and I don't know if Abajala is still in here. Abajala, you still in here? Abajala, you still you? I don't think he's still in here.
"Oh
Oh,
yeah,
he
he's
is.
easy
Most
here."
High Christ. So, um, I don't know what the brother's doing. I wish we could pull him up on the screen. But do you understand Romans 4 a little more? It was a great question to ask because it really leaned into the topic, right? We've been talking about brothers getting delivered in a chariot who they all they did was help brothers. Yeah, they're not going to receive the same reward as the 144,000, but they're going to be delivered. But it's not because the same reason you got delivered, right? That's why Romans 4 and 8.
So like the other one,
Uh huh.
if I could real quick, just for I put the link to the streamer for Abadja Allah if he wants, if he could click and come
Oh
up
yeah,
on.
yeah. If you want, Abajala, if you want to explain um your question more in detail, or if you want to explain how it makes more sense, feel free to come up in the chat and talk to us. Don't worry about the camera being all great and all that. That's fine. Just quick minute or two of your time if you're able. All right. Until then, let's keep going to Zechariah 13:9.
He's right here. I don't want Salakia.
Okay.
Just got
Shalom, Shepherd Thug. I don't want you.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much.
So go ahead and ask your original question, and then let me know what you got from it.
Con or con. So I was looking at Romans 4 because I had came across a video of this fake Israelite group battling the Christian. and
Yeah, I
then
seen
twist
that. He
it.
got cut. He reworded. He said that's literally what he said, and that's not what he said.
Yeah, concert. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that kind of had slumped me when I was reading it because the saying, but he that worketh not. I was like, but I know for a fact like you got to put in work. You know,
Hmm.
to accomplish something in this truth. So it was just slumping me. But the way he
Yeah.
explained it, saying the Lord saying he how did he word it? So I don't got the verse in verse 8,
Hmm.
basically saying the Lord will have mercy on who he chooses to have mercy on. So it
Hmm.
kind of just clarified it a little bit more because that video has slumped me with that fake Israelite. So
Yeah.
and
That.
the
But
scripture,
the point of that whole video was to confuse you.
yeah, kind of,
And
kind
that
of,
fake Israelite, did, he was confused.
yeah, kind of,
He went as far as to say Paul is not the word of God. That's all I need to hear.
yeah, kind of, sir,
Didn't he say that?
kind of.
Yeah. That. I mean,
Good,
we don't take. I don't take too much time to talk about these guys, but once you say something like that, I mean, damn.
Yeah,
good night, man.
What are we talking about
Salakia.
at Bajala? So don't read Romans. Don't read it. Don't read. I almost cussed. Don't read damn near the whole New Testament.
crazy.
Salakia, sir.
Good.
They kind of sound like an Old Testament Israelite.
Who are you? Yeah. Who are you to determine that? Who are? First of all, listen. Egos. Who are you? You learn you're an Israelite. All right. Fantastic. Now you're saying Paul is not qualified, or what Paul wrote is not the word of the Lord. That is insane.
Right.
That is in. Who are you? Who are you? Remember that demon that told Paul,
Right.
I know, right? But you, I don't know who you are. It's the same thing, man. But you still there, Bajala?
So like, sir, you said what?
I say you still there? No, yeah, I just wanted to make sure you understood.
Yeah, kind of, kind of the
I,
water,
I
sir.
could always go a little deeper into it because you really want to start from one. You want to go through like 12, I believe. But I said read the book of Acts when you get a chance. Read a couple chapters here and there every day, every other day when you study, and you'll see what those brothers dealt with when they were teaching the Gentiles. You know who the Gentiles are,
Kind
correct?
of, kind of,
And
sir.
when they were teaching the Israelite foreigners, Gentiles, that they were Israelites, they were getting a lot of flack for that. They were getting a lot of flack for that. And one of the main things they would teach, oh, they're not circumcised, or they missed Passover, or because if you miss Passover, you're supposed to be cut off and die. The people in Jerusalem, they wasn't living like under the faith of Christ, that dismissed everything that we did prior to learning the truth. That was holding everybody accountable. Oh, you don't have a beard. Oh, you're not circumcised. Oh, you have a smushed in nose, or your mother and father had you through adultery. You can't come in here. But after what Christ taught, Christ didn't teach that. If you're a brother whose father and mother had you through adultery, you can be in the truth. You could serve in the Lord. You could go to Passover. You can, but prior to that, it was not so. Make sense?
Kind of, sir.
Most high, most high Christ. All right.
The water, sir.
All right.
Shalom, y'all. Shimmer, sharper, thumb.
Yeah, about Shem Shem.
Hey, Shalom, with the.
Go ahead, Malakma. You want to say something?
Oh no, I was just leaving them out.
Oh, okay. No sweat.
Trying to keep reading, sir.
Con.
Come on, and that I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined,
Mm-hmm.
and will try them as gold is tried. They
Mm-hmm.
shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I
Right.
will say, "It is my people." They
And
shall
this
say,
and the same people who say that Paul is not the word of God or anything, anything, they'll say we don't know God's name. Right. I'm not talking about that particular. organization of people who had that incident where they looked silly. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not saying they say that we can't keep or that we don't know God's name, but there are organizations or other Israelite groups who say
Right.
we don't know God's name.
Right.
Well, how the hell are
Kawakan.
we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? Right?
Right.
That don't even make no sense. Give me Psalm 91:14. The remnant is gonna know God's name and His Son's name. What I asked for?
So you said Psalm
91:14. You're a Hebrew Academy graduate. You're very familiar with Psalm 91.
Kawakan, sir.
Those of you brothers preparing for Hebrew Academy, prepare your hearts, um, and prepare your minds, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. Go ahead, Psalm 91:14.
Kawakan, sir. The book of Psalm, chapter 91, verse 14. Because he hath set his love upon me,
Mm-hmm.
therefore will I deliver him.
Mm-hmm.
I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
Say it one more time. Because he
I
have
will I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
yeah, yeah. So where do you get this? We don't know God's name from. No, I know what it is. You don't know God's name. You don't know who He is. You don't know His name. You don't know what He represents. But we do. The remnant does. And we pray to be of that number.
Right.
So we act accordingly, right? We obey Christ. We follow His teachings. We apply them in our everyday life. Malakma, if I have a problem with you, I'm
Right.
not going to go call Karatazai and tell
Right.
him my problem with you. Guess what I'm going to do?
Come to me and me alone.
I'm going to go to you as you would me,
Right.
right? That is the token that someone really is in the truth.
Right.
They live by the teachings of Christ and that Bible.
Right,
Because
sir.
Christ taught the Bible. Christ taught the Old Testament.
Right.
And, um, where we at?
Psalm 91:14.
Read it one more time.
Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name.
Mm-hmm. Right. Um, let's get back to the remnant.
Come on, concert.
Give me Romans. We've been in Romans all damn near all class.
Come on, concert.
Give me Romans 9:27.
Come on. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
Esaias also crieth concerning
Right,
the Lord,
right.
concerning Israel.
Esaias is who?
Isaiah.
Isaiah. We read Isaiah 10 and 20 through 22. So this is Paul quoting Isaiah. So not only if you say Paul was not, or the Romans is not the word of the Lord, and you're saying Isaiah is not the word of the Lord.
Good night.
Because in turn, really all Paul did throughout his writings was quote what we know as the Old Testament. So you playing with fire, but you know, needless to say, keep going.
Come. Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved.
Hmm. You see that, right? A remnant shall be saved. So, do you? Here's the question: how bad do you want to be a part of the remnant? How bad do you want to be delivered? You know, like a lot of people don't think anything's going to happen.
Right.
They think, the price of food is normal. Like when you've been grocery shopping lately,
It's ridiculous, sir.
have you pumped gas in your car lately?
Con with con.
I think it was me and you who did the breakdown on Revelation chapter 6,
Right, right.
right? Those horsemen are out, like, right? Remember the horse that the man on the horse with
The scale, right?
scale? Yeah,
Right.
he's active.
It's a lot, yes, sir.
Hmm.
If I could, I mean, um, for out here in Southern California, when you go to In and Out, you look at the price of the food now. It's
Oh, don't tell
ten
me they went up.
bucks.
Are you
It went
serious?
up $10 now.
Get out of here.
$10 for a double fries and a drink. Used to be
Wow. I
eight.
remember it used
It
to be
was
like,
eight,
bruh, I
six,
remember,
then six.
brother, I remember it
One,
used to be $6 for a meal.
right,
Cause
right.
I know I'm getting the double double, hold the special sauce, ketchup instead, pink lemonade, extra ice, and a fry. $6. You said ten
Right.
dollars,
$10.
but more so, right? It's bigger than a cheeseburger.
Right,
It's
right,
it's showing you that number one, inflation is real, and number two, that the prophecies of God are true. This place is like it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Bread might go down, or bread, eggs, and cheese. Groceries might go down tomorrow. It might go down. It might start looking a little better or whatever, right? But then it's gonna come a point where it's gonna be unbearable. It might not go back down. Like rent, uh, uh, in alignment with with minimum wage and whatever state you're in,
right.
it don't balance. It don't balance. You could be making what's the average minimum wage in America? Do we know?
Like now, I think it's 15, right?
That's ridiculous.
And they
That's
were having issues with that.
right. Go ahead, Kodash. Uh oh yeah, Kodash said yeah. He said what did he say? He said yeah.
Groceries is
Groceries are crazy now. Yeah, I know, I know. But that's part of the prophecies, right? The the God of the Bible is going to break down his empire inside and out,
right,
inside and out. Right? You remember Donald Trump called it the invisible enemy. What was it? Coronavirus.
right.
America has never healed after that.
Nah, right.
It's
Con,
never,
con.
brother. I remember before COVID, it was still bad, but $20 an hour was like, oh my, we balling, we up, right? But $20 an hour now,
It's a lot,
because
yes, sir.
I believe they made like if you work at a restaurant,
Right,
uh, you get $20 an hour.
right,
But see, I was a manager for a restaurant at one point. What a lot of people don't understand is, okay, yes, $20 an hour, but now upper management has to. It's not going to be four or five people like it was last
right,
time. Now it's going to be three people, and
right,
more labor, and some people going to get laid off. You
right.
understand? Or if it's a say it's not a franchise, say it's a private owner or mom and pops, spot. I mean, people got laid off, man. That's a lot of responsibility for the one paying people. You know, hey, now you got to do it. So it's a domino effect. Uh,
that's that's heavy. I don't want you to say that.
America's economy is garbage.
Right,
The dollar is worth nothing.
right.
How much? Look up this for me. How much money is America in debt? How in debt is America? Last time I checked, it was in the trillions. I think it was like last time I checked was probably about 10 years ago. I think it was like $7 trillion. which a trillion, 1 trillion is, if I'm not mistaken, a billion,
It's
999 times.
right here, other one.
Go ahead, read it.
As of July 16th, 2024, the United States federal government has 34.94 trillion in debt. This debt includes money owed to the public, federal trust funds, other government accounts, and other entities. The government incurs debt when it issues treasury securities to fund the difference between its tax revenue and other income it's spending on things like defense, welfare, and interest. So,
Good night. But then at the same time, Malakma, they'll spend $150 billion to fund another war or
right,
to aid Ukraine.
right,
Meanwhile, we're in poverty. I mean, make it make sense. Oh, but then, but then you got to think like us as the children of Israel, man. We suffering in this place, Malakma.
right.
We suffer in this place. Minimum wage is on average. What's the average minimum wage in America? Look that up real quick. I think it's like I want to say 12.75, something like that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The average minimum wage in America.
As of January 1st, 2024, the federal minimum wage in the United States is $7.25 per
Oh
hour.
my God, Malakma. $7 an hour.
So, if I could, sir, you remember when there was this whole push to raise the minimum wage up to $15,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a big resistance, especially for the people working in fast food. They wanted to
Yeah.
be paid a living wage,
Mm-hmm.
and it was met with so much resistance.
Right. Well, they got 20. But the thing is, with that 20, is less workers now. Um, and you're not gonna get 40 hours.
Right,
Man, listen, I know how they work. Unless you like one of the top guys, yeah, they're not finna. This place is there's no law that can pass. There's no minimum wage that they can agree on that's gonna save this place.
right,
That's just the truth. There's no bill that they're going to come to an agreement on that's going to upset God's prophecies of this place being as chaotic as it is. There's no president that's going to change that.
right,
There's no vice president there's no speech. There's nothing.
right,
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And that's the beauty of being in the truth. We're watching it happen. There's other things that's going to happen. Like there's going to be a civil war. There's going to be race riots. There's going to be lack of food, lack of water. Go back 3 4 years ago with COVID.
right,
Man. You know how hard it was to find baby wipes,
right. Diapers, sir.
Enfamil, diapers. Hold on, toilet paper.
Right, totally. Right.
You know how hard it was to find toilet paper.
I remember, sir.
No, then they started stocking up on water. You only could take one case of water per family. Like imagine when they let off an EMP. Imagine if they let's say they cut off all the lights right now. Yeah, they're excellent visuals. Remember that? I remember that. We lived through that. Someone made a joke, Malakman said, man, we've been living through a lot of uh uh world crisis and uh you know we've been living through a lot in this life.
Right.
We've been going through a lot of first time evers, for the first time this, for the first time that, For the first time in
Unprecedented.
history, this yeah, we've been going through all the first times ever. All right, we gonna have a story to tell. If I may, you can't even find a place to live off of wages. They want 3 and 4 times the rent. Who exactly?
Right.
Exactly. They want you to make 3 4 times the rent.
That first and last month's rent could be killing it, man.
In the projects. We're not talking about in a nice area. Forget about Orange County. We're talking about San Bernardino. They want 3 or 4 times the rent, Malakma.
Right.
So let's say rent is 2,200 for a 1 bedroom apartment in the projects. Your deposit gonna be out of this world. You got to show on file or provide paperwork to show that you make damn near 6 grand a month, but you work at KFC or you work at Walmart or you work at Amazon. That makes no damn sense. But what does that all mean? It means that all the prophecies in the Bible are coming to pass and are true. And if inflation is real, if all these things are real, that means Christ cracking that sky open is real too.
Right.
That means because if the Bible said all these things will happen and they're happening, there are other things that haven't happened yet that will happen.
Right.
Go ahead. You ask something?
Um, La, sir. I mean, just what you're saying is heavy, and it's evident. Like you look at how things are about to pop off right now. You just had Trump try to they try to assassinate him, and now I think what's his name has COVID. Biden has COVID, so it's like
Yeah.
whichever. If Trump doesn't win, you could expect. I would not be surprised to see another January 6th happen, but worse. You already had these oppressors. Storm the Capitol. They got their militias.
Well, I'll tell you this, Malakma. Why do you think these plagues are coming? Why do you think these plagues, COVID, and natural disasters, quote unquote? Why do you think those things happen?
To wake us up, sir.
Yeah, yeah, it's to wake us up. But we pray for them to happen.
Khan Wakan.
That's why they happen. And God honors our prayers. And an angel goes and makes it happen.
Right.
Because we're priests and prophets of God. That's not a light thing.
Right.
That's why it behoove you to watch your mouth concerning Commander Junior Hana. Watch your
Right.
mouth concerning the school. Because it can very well cost you your existence. Let me get one more precept. Give me Revelation 14 and 1.
Oh, so like, if I could, sir, that bird flu is I guess spreading like crazy too.
Man, let it all
Let loose
let
all the
loose all
plagues.
the
Let's
plagues.
all the terrors.
Exactly. All the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Matter of fact, hold that. Get second Esdras. It should be a apocrypha on that website.
Comic Con.
Second Esdras, the 15th chapter.
We here, sir.
Go ahead.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1.
Hmm.
Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy.
Uh-huh.
which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Right? This is who is Ezra, Malakma?
A
Well,
prophet, sir.
correct. To be specific, he was also Ezra. That's Ezra.
And,
Ezra
and
is right, it's the
right,
same person.
right.
Ezra was a direct descendant of Aaron.
It was a Levite. A Levite?
Yeah, he was a Levite.
Come,
He
come,
was a
come,
direct descendant of Aaron,
come, come,
right? So he was a priest.
come, come.
Go ahead.
And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
The white man wrote that book, right?
Right.
But we read these things are faithful and true, even though they were written in paper. Keep going.
For fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them
Incredulity,
trouble thee.
right?
Incredulity.
Incredulity means disbelief. So when you read that, like, what you get from that? Don't let the incredulity or the disbelief of who? The others.
Right.
Those outside the truth. We don't let, when people walk by, when we at camp, oh, y'all ain't talk about nothing. Oh man, y'all
Right.
crazy. Oh man, this and that. Right? We don't let that trouble us.
Right.
It doesn't move us. It doesn't make me go home and be like, damn, was that brother with the crack pipe hanging out his back pocket, right? Am I wasting my time? No.
So like it, sir, if I could.
Hmm.
For me it does the opposite. All that, all that hate we get, all the disbelief and the people coming against us, that's proof we in the truth.
Hmm.
That's proof of, that the Bible is real just because Christ said that would happen.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Hmm.
Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword,
Right.
famine, death, and destruction.
Hmm. Keep
For
going.
wick for wickedness, Salakia, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hopeful works are fulfilled.
Hmm.
Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Right. That's it. That's all we need on that. You see everything that's coming. It's going to come. And why is it going? Why is everything we just read, the sword, death, famine, destruction, the plagues, why are all those things, why can we know all those things are going to come?
Because we pray for it, sir.
That's true, because it was written in paper and it's what? Faithful and true. Because
Come on, come.
it was written down, it was prophesied. I want to get one more. That's an excellent precept, Kodash. Get Jeremiah 23 and 3.
Come on, come.
Excellent precept. Excellent precept to the topic. And the point is, on another note is that, man, there's hope. Like, who the hell wants to be here for another 50 years? I don't.
Right.
If I have to be here, I always speak in the code of, if Christ don't come back, I'm gonna get this degree, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know, if Christ don't come back within that time. But
Salak,
get
sir.
that degree, Malakma.
Come on, come. What is it? What's the what do they say? I don't know. What's the Bible say? Occupy until he comes.
Come on now. That's why you're a priest.
Come,
We occupy doing, namely the work with the work.
come, come.
Go ahead, Jeremiah 23:3.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
That's what we have to look forward to.
Right.
we have that to look forward to, and we should occupy till he comes. We should work. Let us therefore labor to enter into that rest. That's
Right.
what Paul said. We know niggas hate Paul, um, which is beyond me. But we want to be a part of that remnant and gathered from all countries
Sorry, baby.
and delivered. Did you have any closing statements, Malakma?
Oh, so Salah, sir. Closing statement is, this is the home of the truth, the only home of the truth, and what you brought out was very heavy, sir. The fact that other groups, when we talk about the remnant, we talk about the 1/3, and y'all brag about being the 1/3. Y'all think y'all that's the like how you even know you the 1/3.
Yeah,
The that's how that's how we know y'all not in the truth, because to be in the truth, right, is to follow Christ, and
hmm,
Christ taught brotherhood. So how do you think you come off being brotherly, or to claim you following Christ, but you're not displaying the same brotherhood he talked about? It's unbrotherly for you to start shaming your nation and saying they deserve to be the 2/3 when you don't even know if you the 1/3 or not.
yeah,
You know what I mean? How you gonna be happy and want to beg, like exclaim for your nation, your people to be destroyed? Well, you should have mercy for your people. That's the brotherhood. That's what Christ taught, which is to have love for your people and pray that the Lord have mercy and spare them, just like Moses did.
yeah,
When God offered him to start a nation out of him and wipe out the rest of the Israelites, he told the Lord, to spare them.
yeah. Damn right. Damn right, man. So that's the remnant, man. Just wanted to touch on that. Wanted to touch on the elect, 144,000 and 1/3, and that explain how those are going to be the ones who are delivered out of this place, because there is going to be a time where
Right,
brothers and sisters are beamed up, and there's going to be a time where a lot of people will not be. So,
right,
how bad do you want to be a part of the remnant? So,
right.
with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel.